Company of Heroes is a big box World War II board game that brilliantly combines tactical battles using excellent miniatures and great terrain with resource management and board control. And with the release of the second edition, it's better than ever. This whopping piece of kit, which weighs about the same as a Tiger tank, is the second edition update kit. Let's see what you get. You can see from the back of the box just how packed full of goodies this is, including a whole new set of rulebooks, command posts, and plenty of new dice as well. I'm also really interested in these two new boards. Once I've got this open, I shall put those side by side with the older boards so that you guys can see the difference. So, in we go. So, off with the box. Okay, you can see straight away 4 new HQ boards. I can't see any obvious difference with these, but I shall have a good look later. Actually, right, here we go. This space here for the dice. The older ones, I remember it ran down here, so there's a slight change in design there. We've also got some resource tokens. These are used to mark where on the board you can collect particular resources. These are now plastic rather than the old cardboard ones. I believe they fit better onto the board. I shall have a look at those too. Here are some cardboard overlays. I guess these will indicate new places on the board. These will interact with the new missions and so on, give you a bit more versatility, which is great. Not that the game's particularly lacking in it. It is absolutely loads and loads of missions to play. There you go, you can't have too many. Aha, and then some lovely new stuff in here. Let me grab this tray. Wow, you can't see it, but my eyes are lighting up. There's a good heft to this. A number of new vehicles and turrets for tanks. That's a monster. That tank is absolutely enormous. Look at that. That's a German tank. I'm not sure exactly which model that is. I have to look that up. All sorts of lovely new dice. Plastic flags again for the resources. And these cards are great as well. I'll open those up in a minute. Okay, a booklet with some, it says booklet errata stickers. Okay. And then here we go. Oh, yeah, now this is worth dwelling on for a moment. This is the chap who really was the driving force behind the game being transformed from a successful computer game into a fantastic board game. Unfortunately, he died rather unexpectedly. It was very sad. It's nice in a way that the legacy lives on, in that this game has come to fruition, is being delivered to everyone. I'm sure that would have made him happy. So there are some more transfers here. These are great for people that want to paint their models. Also got some errata stickers. Okay, so that suggests there's a few issues with the HQ boards. I'll have a look at those and see how serious a problem they are. The fact there are these stickers, I guess that's a good move on the part of the manufacturers. I'm just going to cut in here and say that the printing issue is not with the building boards. They are all good. The stickers are for a fairly minor printing issue with the rulebook itself. You can see here how some of the icons are slightly out of alignment in this image, and the sticker overlay corrects this. So no biggie and easily fixed. Caring for your new miniatures. Okay, again, this is giving people advice on how to paint and then look after their models. And here we go, all of the new rule books. Clearly marked second edition. I will take a break from the filming at some point to go through these and give you guys a bit of an overview of what seem to be some of the big changes to the game. And then down here, you can see we've got 2 new maps. Very nice. I like the ruined tank there. That's great. Yeah, lovely. And another one here. Straight away, I'm impressed with the print quality here. If I just bring that close, I'm not sure if the camera will pick that up particularly well, but that is really crisp. That is definitely a more high definition image than you had with the first edition of the game. That's great. Really appreciate that. And a nice plastic sort of holder here for the maps so they're not going to move around. Okay, let's get some of this open and I'll tell you a bit more. So I've taken a few hours to read through the rulebook and to understand some of the changes to the game. The first one that I'd mention is the rulebook itself. It's now one bigger rulebook. It's more detailed. It covers all the things you need to play. Whereas previously the first edition had two separate rulebooks covering basic and advanced rules. I much prefer having everything all together in one book that you can just reference. It's quite clever. You've got an explanation of the rules and then a grey box text underneath it that might cover more advanced versions of the rule. I think that's a good change. A lot more time has also been taken in the rulebook to explain corner cases, those slightly unusual interactions you get in a big box game like this where you've got a huge number of different special abilities. I'd say that for somebody coming to the game for the first time with the second edition, this can make the rules seem more complicated than they actually are. I would really say to anyone, try and get playing first. You'll see that most of the movement, the damage, etc. is quite straightforward. It's just that the rulebook has gone out of its way to explain these fiddly little instances that can arise, but most of the time it will be much more straightforward than that. I do think, though, that if you're a new player to the game, it's well worth starting off with just the core mechanics. You can skip the more advanced things for now and then gradually introduce them. One exception to that, though, is the rules for fire arcs. I would say that they're such an integral part of the tactics that you use that to miss them out completely really lessens the game. It takes away a really important choice. It also can have the effect of making machine guns far too powerful, and this was one of the issues with the first edition. So as soon as you can, I would bring fire arcs into the game. Here are the two new map tiles on their Morrow Riverside, and they're very nice. Let's be honest, the maps from the first edition of the game were great as well, but I think there are some improvements. Firstly, the two sides fit together really perfectly, and the hexes have been cut so that they're either full or half. With the first edition maps, you had a few odds and ends around the edges that didn't quite work so well. So this is slightly better designed in that way. With the first edition, there were also a few hexes that had a slightly blurry, low definition, washed out feel to them. You've got a lot less of that here. I'd say that the hexes, even the ones with not a lot of terrain, still look a bit crisper. And also there's the use of colours. The light and heavy terrain, the impassable areas, etc. are much more vivid. They're much easier to see on this map tile. The upgrade kit also comes with this very modest looking set of cards. Now they may not look like much, but they have a really significant effect on the way that the game plays. At the start of each maneuver phase, the first player secretly draws one of these cards. This gives them a choice of two numbers, which can be 2, 3, 4, or 5. This will be the number of turns in the current round. Once they've chosen, they turn the card over with either the 2 to 4 or 3 to 5 arrow pointing towards their opponent. This gives the opponent a rough but not exact idea how long the round will be. This uncertainty introduces another strategic choice and keeps players guessing. I really love this kind of secret bluffing mechanic in a game. The inclusion of coloured dice with the upgrade kit is a nice touch. It allows you to track damage using a dice colour of the appropriate type. So red for heavy vehicles, yellow for light vehicles, and purple for emplacements. I've probably rattled on for long enough now, but I didn't want to finish without showing you some of the lovely models that come with this upgrade kit. First up, we've got the Sexton for the British, a self-propelled artillery vehicle that's available with certain commander cards. Next, we've got some new turrets for the Sherman tanks, which I imagine will allow you to upgrade them to maybe jumbos or fireflies. In the same way, this Russian tank can switch out its turret and be upgraded to a T-34. This gorgeous little tank is a Stuart. I really love the detailing on this model. And finally, we have an elephant. It's another lovely model, and in my hand weighs about 5 times as much as that tiny little Stuart. One final thing I'm going to mention is the number of commander cards that come with this kit. That's enormous. I could play this game for months and not get anywhere near all of those. Really great, loads of choice, fantastic. Now, as well as the update kit, I also received some other stuff with my Kickstarter. If you guys are interested in seeing me unbox this too, then please let me know in the comments. The truth is, I'd love to rip them open and get playing straight away, but I will wait if it's something that interests you guys. I hope that you've enjoyed the video. If so, please consider giving it a like or subscribe. I hope to see you again soon, and until then, keep rolling.